Good afternoon, everyone. How are you all? So, I have to remember that you guys don't all know what I know. So, and some of you, I don't know what you don't know. So, if I do repeat myself, I do apologize, but hopefully, sometimes we forget what we know. So, I'm going to just go through a few things that I think will hopefully help inspire you with your Cookidoo subscription. Okay, so I'm going to flip the screen and we're going to do a couple of things. So whatever you see here in your app, now the difference between the app and the website you have to go to renew your subscription. Okay, so you can't renew your subscription from the apps. You have to go to the website. Also, whatever you see here on your Thermomix screen, you see here. Obviously, my iPad is bigger, so when I scroll down, this comes up on your machine, hand-picked for you, and then the latest recipes. So the latest recipes here and the latest recipes there. Okay, now I'm going to stick with the machine for a moment because I did a Cookidoo live yesterday, not Cookidoo live. I did a live yesterday and I did the basics, back to basics, and did the stock. And I forgot to tell you one very important thing, and that is from my week, I showed you yesterday how you can move your recipe to another day. So we could move that to another day and save it. But I forgot to show you how you can add it to a collection. So I've got the goat cheese and I actually have a collection called cheese. So when I come through, and it is alphabetical, okay? I've got 10 recipes in my cheese collection. So if I add my goat cheese, the next time, if I want to, I can come to my recipes created collections and I can scoot through and look for cheese. Now, because I must have already had that recipe in my cheese because that has not changed. Where's it gone? Oh, you might also see, because I have got so many things in my collections, I've actually started numbering them to bring them to the top of my list. Okay, so it shows you that I've got 23 in my spice mix rubs and marinades. I've got 75 in my low carb life. So that shows you that. So we're just going to come back to the iPad. And the reason I wanted to come back to here is what I want everyone to do. If I inspire you to do nothing else, you must make yourself a sizzle collection. Now, you won't find it under sizzle. It'll be under saute. So, it helps if I can spell. I'm looking at the screen and looking at the phone at the same time. So saute, always go for that wide search, remember? So these are all the things that you can saute. Now, some of these things may actually end up being in a bigger recipe. So I'm just going to look for one. So see down here, that means it's going to use the saute mode. But what we want to do is make a basic collection. So from here, highly recommend that you save. I personally, and you've probably heard me say it before, prefer things cubed rather than strips because it will go dry in strips, personally, I think. So from here, we're going to add to a collection. I'm actually going to create a collection and I'm going to call it number 1 sizzle, only because I've got way too many things there and that will bump it to the top of the list a little bit more. So then from here, I can now go in and add to a collection and I can look for number 1 sizzle and I can start making my collection. I was just about to say, one of the things I don't bother doing, I don't go into the whole recipe from here, just touch the 3 little dots on the right hand side and we will add to a collection and we will add that to our sizzle. It's sauteed shrimp straight away. You know that's going to be an American recipe. Totally up to you if you want to go into pounds and ounces, Personally, I'm not a huge fan, but I do have the American filter on here at the moment. So the other one I'm loving at the moment, I've always loved my sauteed onion and garlic. So I'm going to add that to my collection. So number 1 sizzle. There we go. So that's going to bump up. Sauteed bacon and chicken. Now that's a great one for those of you that can have mixed proteins. So add to a collection and number 1 saute. Why do I find it hard? That number 1 sizzle, that's why, not saute. You could make it saute if you want, because saute, the A will be before the I, obviously. Just depends how many things you have in your collection. So sauteed prawns, this is going to be the Aussie one, and we can add that to my sizzle collection. Now the reason I highly recommend that you do this one is that as soon as I come back to my machine, now I didn't have that sizzle collection in there before under number 1, so I can now come to my recipe created collections, and buffering that will now load onto my Thermomix once. Now you can see there's a few things added because it took a couple of seconds. So now there I go. So everything that I had on here is now on here. Okay, so that's one of the things I highly recommend you make. As many little collections. Now, don't put too many things in your collections because sometimes you can confuse yourself and you might forget where you've put things. Okay, so I think doing a saute collection, doing a slow cook collection, once you learn how to master the sauteing, that opens up to converting and using a lot of your own recipes, okay? So the other thing, I was just going to cross that out of here, and I'm going to come back to home. And the other thing I wanted to show you, and somebody asked me this question the other day, was about adding collections. Now, you can add as many as you like. So our latest collections, let's see more. Now what you can't do, you can't add a collection from your Thermomix. You have to do it from here. Okay, so we've got 132 results, and that's Australia only. If I want to put my filter on and I want to find more countries, I'm going to come down and I'm going to add the United Kingdom because I absolutely love the UK site. Show the results. That broadens more than doubles our scope for adding to our Thermomix. Okay, so it is done by the newest. We can change that, and I actually like to do this one from A to Z because that will make it a little bit easier. So if you're looking for chicken, or if you're looking for afternoon tea or whatever, it's a lot easier to do it that way. Now, unfortunately, back in the early days of Cookidoo, we used to be able to touch on the corner and add it to our collection. So now we have to go into there and save it. It's not that awkward, but it's just a little bit more time consuming. So the other thing, whenever you see a little circle like that, that means you can actually buy a physical book. So if you're a bit of an old school person and you want a physical book, you can actually buy that around Asia in a book. The books will have a lot more recipes than these little collections here. This one here, one of our barbecue cookbook, I've already got it saved, and there's 102 recipes on there. Okay, but if I come into Better Bread, I don't have that saved, and there's only 7 recipes. And this is one of those times I would look at that and go, oh, seeded bread, I might actually make that, and I'll add that to a collection, and I'll add that to a bread collection that I already have. So I've got bread, gluten-free, breads and grain-free. So I've got 3 breads that I've got saved here. So I'll just put that into the normal bread. Okay, cheese and tomato bread. I probably would never make breakfast croissant, so I probably wouldn't bother saving that. These tiger rolls, I have done those back in the day. I'll see if I'll pop that into my bread collection. Oh, no, not blade. I've got to put that into a blade cover. That's okay. That I can show you now. You can take things in and out. So if I come home and I come to my recipes and created. So these are the ones that I've created. And I come into that blade cover. And I've got these random bread rolls. I can touch on those 3 dots and I can move this recipe to where it was meant to be. Or you can delete it altogether. I'm going to pop that into breads. Okay, there you go. How easy is that? Talking of blade cover, there was obviously a reason I did that and I didn't mean to, but blade cover is another collection that you really, really should make. There's quite a lot of things that you can do with your blade cover, and one of those is bone broth or liquid stocks. Okay, so I think that's all for today because I don't want to make the videos too long because otherwise people get lost. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please reach out and ask the questions. So I hope that answers the question for the lady that asked the other day, how do I save a collection, or how do I see what's in a whole collection? So I'll just quickly recap over that. So if I touch on, this is our very latest book, beautiful book. They're doing it in parts. We've only got part 1 with 20 recipes. Just touch on it and that will take you to all the recipes in that collection. So there you go. That's Hints and Tips. It's a very odd collection, I think, because you've got everything from amazing cakes to sous vide chicken liver. So anyway, lots of it's sweet stuff, and then you've got a random. I think that's just a bit random. Anyway, that's my thoughts for the day. Take care, and I'll see you all tomorrow with goat cheese. Okay, take care and have a great afternoon. Bye.